Now, joining me in the studio, we've got another California candidate in the 34th District, Kenneth Mejia. I'm sure I said that wrong. So I am the worst with names. Kenneth, how do you say the last name?
Kenneth Mejia.
Mejia. Why is that so hard? His name Cenk Uygur, and he can't get that right. All right. Anyway, Kenneth, you are in the Green Party. I see that because of the button you've got on. And because of the green shirt you have on, and it says it in my notes. You're taking on an incumbent Democrat?
Yep.
Okay, so let's start with the fundamentals before we get to the insane amount of things you've accomplished in 26 years. So why the Green Party, not the Democratic Party?
Well, I actually started off in the Democratic Party. I was Democrat, but even before I was a Green. Like many people, we think in LA that the Democrats are the people, are party of the people. We're forced to learn that Republicans are bad guys. And someone like Bernie Sanders inspired me personally to actually run for Congress for the first time I ran. So that's why I picked the Democratic Party. Then after what happened to Bernie and the DNC, the whole thing, I decided, well, I think there should be another party that represents my values, that has the same platform or even better. And I found the Green Party.
In the rest of the country, they'll tell you, well, you're going to split the vote and you're going to have the Republican win. And why is that not the case in California?
California is a heavy blue state. In Los Angeles, specifically in our district, in the 34th, and in our election, it's only us, the incumbent Democrat, and a Libertarian. So if there's anywhere that can go green, it's this district. And this is the only district in LA that won for Bernie during the primaries.
Okay, and it's what's called a jungle primary in California. So the top two vote getters, no matter what their party, goes on to the general election. So there's usually, and certainly in this case, less of a chance of quote unquote splitting the vote. And it's in the primary you'll get to find out if you advance. So no reason not to vote your conscience, as it were. But okay, so it is a very liberal district. So. Jimmy Gomez, the incumbent, any issues there, or is he solidly progressive, but you're just even more to the left of him?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think one of our big differences, number one, we don't receive big money. He's received money from Goldman Sachs, from Navient, the largest student debt collector, health insurance companies, and Big Pharma, all within the last couple of months. Number two, we could push harder on the issues than he's pushing on. For example, he's not co-sponsoring things like the Fair Vote Act or the College for All Act, which would make tuition-free college. And even though he's co-sponsored something like HR 676 single payer, he only talks about it when he campaigns. And so that's sort of the things that we could do better, is we could actually push on these issues that the Democratic Party has not put a full front on. And I think that's sort of where we come in. And we're not tied to any donors. We could actually go after both parties if we need to get the point done.
Kenneth, I'm going to play the role of Anderson Cooper here. Are you telling me that because he takes money from Goldman Sachs, that he would be biased in favor of Goldman Sachs?
I mean, who knows? If he's the progressive candidate and he's in Los Angeles, a huge liberal progressive district, then why even take the money? So those are some of the questions that we need to know. Like, if you're progressive, you wouldn't even take it.
So that's a good question. Why even take the money? You're the incumbent. The Democratic Party supports you anyway. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you need the money because the Republicans are going to put up a big fight. You're saying there's not even a Republican in the race.
There's not even a Republican in the race, just me and him and a Libertarian. So huge.
Yeah, but it's because the corruption is systemic. It doesn't mean that Gomez is a bad guy. It doesn't mean all those candidates who take the corporate PAC money are bad people, but it makes it so that we can't trust them.
Right.
And so that's the issue there. So you're in the Green Party, so it would be awesome if you were taking corporate PAC money. And you're like, well, I mean, Lockheed Martin, is this really that bad? So I assume you're not taking corporate PAC money?
Nope, we've only raised $30,000 in the last 6 months, and our average donation is around $38, $39.
Okay, but we're going to change that right now, right? Can I see the links for Kenneth here?
Mejia.
MejiaForCongress.com. Okay, I'm the worst. Anyway, donate and volunteer for Kenneth's candidacy if you're interested in helping him out. So let's talk about your preposterous work history. I mean, you are neighborhood council board member, a certified public accountant. You organized an LA tenants union. You were in the Air Force Officer Training Corps. How did you jam this into 26 years?
Yeah, so I graduated college in 2.5 years at 20. And I was doing the Air Force ROTC, and then once I got a job at Ernst & Young as an auditor, I quit and I became a CPA. And then from there, actually I did the 2.5 years of college because I always did like 26 units a semester, and every season, summer. And then after that, got a good job, and then in a financial service industry, making 6 figures at 25, and then saw someone like Bernie, and then I was like, I'm quitting. And so I quit and I ran as a write-in, as a Democrat, and everyone's like, what are you doing? You just gave it up, coming from immigrant parents who work hard, and like, you just quit a 6-figure job. And so that's how I was able to, I just have the passion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Kenneth, I've been there, brother. I've done your drug. And I like you got to go. And I realized you work for Ernst & Young?
I used to.
Because when you were telling that story, I was thinking, this dude is Ernest, right? So you're actually now Ernest & Young.
Ernest.
I'm here all week. Okay. So you ran last time, so you ran at the age of 24.
25.
25, okay. So if you win, will you be 26 or 27?
If we win, it'll be 27.
You'll be 27. Yeah. Can you imagine if we had a 27-year-old congressman in California from the Green Party? And the answer is yes, I can imagine it. And Democratic Socialists are winning all across the country. It's a little different, but not that different. And so it's certainly possible. So let's talk about the things that you fought for in LA to give people a sense of what drives you. Let's talk about the LA Tenants Union. How did that possess you to become a community organizer and get involved in that?
Yeah, so the LA Tenants Union has actually been around for the past 2 years. They're doing great work all over LA. There's about 6 to 7 locals throughout LA County where basically tenants are fighting for the right to live in their apartments. And many of them are getting evicted due to large rent increases. LA's known for that. They're getting their property bought out, and next thing you know, the landlord is selling it, and now all these people are getting evicted. And so I got involved in it because housing is the issue over time in Los Angeles. And LA actually in Boyle Heights was the first in the East Side local. The mariachis at the Mariachi Plaza apartments, they were getting an 80% rent increase, and they actually pulled a rent strike, and they actually won in getting it from 80% to a 5% rent increase for a collective bargaining agreement. The tenants at the East Side local in Boyle Heights, they protested at the landlord's Beverly Hills mansion. He was getting scared that the people were sleeping outside of his apartment, his mansion, and these are real people who are losing their homes. And the thought is, if you're going to come into our hood, then we're going to go to yours. And so the LA Tenants Union is actually doing great work right now, but that's why we need to repeal this law called Costa-Hawkins, which limits rent control in California. And so once we could get rent control, then these people could stay in their apartment and could afford these rent increases.
Okay, and is that related to the neighborhood council board that you're on?
Yeah, so the neighborhood council board, I'm on that. So the neighborhood councils are the liaison between the community and the city council, like the mayor Garcetti and the city council. And from there, we have $40,000 to use on our community. There's 97 neighborhood councils throughout LA, and we're basically the ears of the community and the voice. So we tell the mayor and all that what are the big issues on. And I'm in Koreatown, and like I said, in Koreatown, the big issues there are housing as well. So we always tell the mayor, hey, we need to enact rent control, we need more low-income housing, we need to stop approving all these market rate developments. So it all ties in together with the work that I do. My biggest issues are probably housing, homelessness, and healthcare and all that. So.
Well, housing is an enormous issue in Los Angeles. If Anna lived in your district, you'd definitely have her vote. So I think that might be a winning campaign strategy. So that's interesting. All right, before we go, one more priority for you. So you got housing. What else if you're in the United States Congress, what else are you going to fight for?
I would like to get homelessness to be more of a national issue, because it is a national issue, and it's huge here in Los Angeles. And 30% of homeless people nationwide are children. And I think that we need to start changing this view on how we view homeless people as and see them as our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, get them in a permanent supportive housing, get things like single-payer healthcare so people can go seek the help that they need if they have drug abuse or substance abuse or whatnot. So that would be like another big issue that we definitely want to push on, get more funding for low-income housing. And it's just, those are the big things.
All right, links to help Kenneth is down below in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. And we just gave them to you a little earlier. All right, Kenneth, go get them. Thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.